The MMA India Show.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us once again. Today I have with me UFC flyweight Jose Shorty Torres. Thank you, Jose, once again for taking the time out to talk to us. We appreciate it.
No problem, man. It's a pleasure being on.
And I just got to ask you, after all the hoopla the past 2 months, how are you doing? What are you currently up to? Are you training? Are you, in a camp again? Is there any news of your next fight?
Yeah, I actually fight next weekend at UFC 227.
Right.
August 4th against Alex Perez. It's 2 fights, 2 months. I'm excited to hopefully get the win, get over and do it so I can take a nice little month to relax. I'm just it's been tough going back-to-back fights, but that's part of the job.
And I wanted to ask you that because now it kind of gave you 2 months to kind of prepare for your next opponent. The last time it was just 9 days when you made your UFC debut. How different is it, or how relaxing is it knowing that you have enough time to kind of prepare for your opponent?
Well, this time actually, it's crazy because I was training. I wasn't training 100%, nor was I doing a 100% clean diet, stuff like that. So, I got 23-day notice to fight Alex Perez. So it was, again, still more focused on the weight instead of training against an opponent, given I had a little bit of time, maybe a week or two to focus on him. But it wasn't much of any different from a 9-day notice. It's really still getting back on the weight and still getting back on, weight cutting, focusing on that. So, again, I'm hoping that after this fight, there's no more last-minute fights for me, that I can get a 2 full-month training camp and really focus on an opponent and show the fans, what I could really bring to the table.
Right, and I think you previously said UFC offered you 8 different fights previously before you took the last fight in Utica, which were all short-notice fights?
Yeah, they were all 10 days or less notice fights. Either I was injured and I couldn't take the fight, or fighters didn't want to fight me because of whatever reasons. And then, either I was accepting the fight and then I got injured, and then this last one I was like, fine, let's take it. I can do it. I'm not a fan of it, but, so be it.
Right, and the last time I remember after your fight, you said the next time around when I get a proper training camp in, then I can show the world what I'm truly capable of. Does that that's an interesting aspect because you were just fighting in the UFC for the first time. For prospects, they usually go for short notice fights because it's a risk. It's a high risk for them. Was that kind of your mentality when you were offered the fight the last time around?
Yeah, I knew it was a high risk, but it's honestly, because of the flyweight division where it's at, it's a risk that's that I needed to take, and because of that, I'm officially a UFC fighter.
Right, and this time around, as you said, you got 23 days notice. What did you do differently during this time, during this camp, from what you did the last time around?
Honestly, not much different. I was only able to train 1 week before I left to New Jersey to stay with my weight management specialist to focus on the weight, because that's the biggest problem for me is, I weigh 150 naturally. So cutting 25 pounds to make this weight, whether it's 9-day notice, 23-day notice, or even a 2-month notice, I still have to have time to focus on my weight. So I usually take 2 weeks to focus on the weight cut. So I only had 1 week to really prepare for this fight. So again, I'm just kind of going there a little blind and seeing what I can do and try my best to get to that.
Right. Does it give you enough time to prepare for someone like Alex Perez? Does that give you the time to kind of watch his tapes, know what he can do, or you just focus on what you have to do and get inside the octagon?
Well, I know what I have to do, but it's the fact of a 2-month training camp just helps build your confidence as well. It doesn't just help. We all know what to do against our opponents. It's just we need to practice it. We need to instill it into our bodies and muscle memory. I never really got the chance to do that. But again, I fought many last-minute fights as amateur. I fought world championship fights where we fought 4 times in 1 week, where you didn't know who you were going to fight. So for me, it's a natural thing of, all right, screw it, we'll see how this goes, and hopefully as the rest of them, we get the W and move on to the next one.
Absolutely, and you're a former 2-division champion in Titan FC. So I just wanted to ask you, how big of a foundation did that lay for your career in the UFC?
It was huge. It was a great feeder program, and going 7-0 in that was an awesome opportunity. Mainly getting 2 belts to 2 different divisions, and literally fighting against guys who are UFC caliber. They're just at the Titan FC level, waiting to get the call up like myself.
Right. So you experienced how it is, the fight week in the UFC. What are you looking forward to this time around? What do you think would be different this time around for you?
This time is going to be a lot different. You know, this one is a huge pay-per-view event.
Yeah,
TJ Dillashaw, Cody Garbrandt, DJ and Cejudo, all this stuff. LA Staples Center, first time at Staples Center, so it's going to be a huge, huge difference compared to very, very small Utica, New York, where no one even knows where Utica is at. You know,
right.
so things are going to be a lot more on schedule. Things are going to be a lot, I think, a little more stressful in media and social media stuff and fans everywhere and just this, that. It's going to be packed, which is
Right.
awesome. You know, yeah, we'll see how I handle it this week. But I'm very excited to just see all the fans and get some motivation by them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what you said the last time around as well when you were doing media for UFC Utica. Um, do you think because you were one of the biggest prospects when you signed with the UFC? Do you think it would have been better for you in terms of having your first fight on such a major card as UFC 227 rather than UFC Utica?
I think it would have been better for me to fight UFC 227 first or a big card first. But again, you have to take it as you get it. And for me, Utica was a great opportunity. I know I could have moved up fast in that card if I would have been called a little earlier. But again, so be it. I got what I got, and I'm just happy to say I'm 1-0 in the UFC. Hopefully 2-0 very soon.
Yeah, hopefully that'll happen. How close was your team the last time around when they said, okay, you have to lose 25, 26 pounds in 9 days, to saying, okay, this might be too risky for us because of what we've seen what happened during drastic weight cuts, especially with the likes of Darren Till very recently. So how close was your team saying this might not be a good idea?
Well, the crazy thing was I said it wasn't a good idea, and
Okay.
I originally denied the fight, and my team is the one that pushed me to take the fight, and if it weren't for my weight management specialist, nutrition, uh, making me take the fight and really just kind of instilling in me that we could make the weight, I wanted to try it. I wanted to stay confident the whole time, and I wanted to make weight. So, we did it again this time around, and we're like, oh, wait, we have 25 pounds in 23 days compared to, 26 pounds in 9 days. We can do it. So, we're very confident in this one. Just going back at it.
Right, and during your fight with Jared Brooks, you said something kind of seemed off in the first round. Um, what happened then? What do you think? Did you do differently, or could you do differently in your upcoming fight with Perez?
Against Jared Brooks, I wasn't mentally prepared. I had 9 days to do the paperwork, the medical stuff, the flights, the weight cut. I mean, there were so many things behind it that people don't think about. They just think, oh, he's just having problems cutting weight. There's a lot of things that go on in the background people don't know. So I do a lot of things and other things to focus on. That by the time I made the weight and I was walking out to the stage, I'm like, oh yeah, I got to fight. It's you completely forget about it. This one, I have a little more time to recover. All this stuff is done 2 weeks ahead of time. So, now focusing on the weight. And again, my next focus will be Alex Perez. So, I'm a lot more prepared mentally compared to the Jerry Brooks fight.
Right, and UFC 227 is just a week away, a week and a half away. So, what are you looking at? What do you think the fight week would be like? Because there's again a big pay-per-view card, as you said. What are you expecting from the fight week itself?
The fight week is going to be epic. It's a huge, huge week. I think the fight with Alex Perez is going to be a big fight for both of us. We're both big prospects coming into the UFC. He's 2-0. I'm 1-0. It's really whoever wins this fight is really going to be promoted by the UFC. Fingers crossed it's me as usual, but it's the fact that he's a Mexican boxer. Mexican fighters, if anybody knows anything about Mexican fighters, they just don't back up. They go forward, 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 and that's the fight that every fan wants to see, mainly in LA where we're surrounded by Latinos. So
Yeah.
for us, whoever moves back, I believe is going to be the one that loses the fight. So I honestly think we could be one of the fights that bring some excitement to the flyweight division that I believe it really, really deserves. And that's something really cool that I'm excited for, is that I'm finally fighting a fighter that likes the fight as well as I do.
Right, and you also said this the last time around. I remember during a recent interview where you said you need to bring more excitement to the flyweight division, mainly because the challenges are just one or two fighters. What do you think you bring additionally to the flyweight division?
Something about the flyweight division is they don't have many knockouts. I have 4 knockouts under my 8 wins overall. One of them already in the UFC, and then that's something I do is I'm random. I come out of nowhere. I come back from adversity, and I bring some excitement in the Justin Gaethje of the flyweight division, where I might be taking a beating first round out of nowhere. I come but in any of my fights. That's usually how they all go, and for me, I like to put on some entertaining shows. And my fights are boring I'm not just feeling the fans of the UFC, but I'm also feeling myself. So for me, I have to bring some excitement, and I got 6 finishes out of 8 fights. I think that's very, very good against all the opponents I face, mainly very fast in my UFC career. So I'm just excited to hopefully get another in Alex Perez and just again bring some excitement in the division that it desperately needs.
For sure. And if I remember correctly, you also trained for a little bit out of KHK MMA. Can you also briefly describe how your experience was training in Bahrain, and what you learned from there, or what you brought back to the United States from there?
Yeah, it was awesome. KHK was an amazing opportunity, and they helped really blossom my professional career. Actually, there were the reasons why I got signed to Titan FC. I got to train with Khabib, Nurmagomedov, Frankie Edgar, Alex Soto. I mean, the whole team was just amazing. I wish I could go back soon. It's I miss all those guys. Those guys were very, very fun. They really did start my career. Hall of Famers like Pete Williams and Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa is a great friend of mine where he has a lot. And, every time I go out there, we really do have a blast. He's not just the Prince of Bahrain or royalty or just some guy you need to look up to. He's also a friend and a person that really is a good role model that is trying to do something different. I believe he has done that. Yeah, those focuses on that. It shows that if you really pay attention to someone like myself, that you can help get them somewhere. And he's one of the reasons why I was able to keep on training and really focus on training on that. I'm in the UFC because of it.
Right, absolutely. And one thing that's also interesting is uh, 23, a day notice for you. Was there any point during the negotiations where your team said this might be too close because you just fought in the UFC?
I mean, I always say it's too close because I still want a full training camp, but it's also the fact that it's a great opportunity on an amazing card in LA Staples Center. It's a historic card, and yeah, it's just I take this fight, I get to take a nice month off. Whether regardless I win or lose this fight, the UFC knows that I'm a company guy. I did two things for them last minute, and hopefully they give me some respect and give me a 2 full month training camp.
Right, and you saying the company guy, it's kind of ironical because there was a point where Bellator was in contact with you, and they said we want you to, sign with us. So what happened during those negotiations? What made you, sign with the UFC?
Yeah, Bellator was offering a great deal and everything was going well, but for some reason things just they went topsy turvy and just nothing I could really control, and it was just one of those things that they want me, just not right now. And well, a couple weeks later, UFC ended up calling, and well, I wasn't going to deny it either. So I was in MMA limbo looking for a fight, and I finally found my fight.
Right, fantastic. And just to kind of close things, with just 1 week away, when do you actually finish your training camp before the fight week? Is it just 2 weeks before? Is it a week before the fight week? Can you briefly tell us when your training camp ends?
Yeah, my training camp is already done. I'm literally 2 weeks out. No matter what fight, whether it's 9 days, 23 days, 2 months, 2 weeks out, I always stop my training camp and really just start focusing on the weight where, I can start getting my weight down, making it nice and healthy, and be ready fight week instead of being 15, 20 pounds over fight week and having to focus in on. I've also learned that training the 2 weeks out beforehand, sometimes I get hurt. I'm just not as energized. I'm not as energetic. So this really helps me out and just be focused on the weight, on the fight, and just see what goes next. So I've been done for about a week. Now I have
Okay.
1 more week. So yeah.
All right, and you were about to move to featherweight before you got a call from the UFC. So, are you comfortable moving down to flyweight, or is there an option for you to say maybe it's better to fight at bantamweight, or how does that come about for you?
I mean, I'd love to fight bantamweight. I believe is a healthier weight for me. I mean, I can make flyweight. It does take a little time, but it's one of those things that bantamweight right now is just too big for me, and
Yeah.
I think I can make a real good run at the flyweight division. I just hope that next time again, instead of these last minute notice fights, I get a full training camp where I get to move my weight down and manage my weight properly instead of cutting weight last minute. So hopefully soon enough. But after this fight, I got to focus on this one first, and we'll see what goes after this.
All right. So finally, Jose, the last fight, Jared Brooks came out after the fight saying, "I knocked myself out." You said you were not happy with your performance. So what are you looking at during your fight with Alex Perez come next weekend?
Yeah, I get to redeem myself. Whether regardless win or lose, I get to show, um, a little more of a training camp, but a little more of a prepared mentally Jose Shorty Torres that's going to come in and just be the bull that I usually am, is just walk forward and hopefully pressure my opponent so much that they break, and that's usually how my fights go. And I'm excited to see how Alex Perez handles it, because he is another bull, and two bulls in a ring just doesn't happen. So I'm just again really energetic and just anxious to see how this fight goes.
Yeah, so Avi, so all the very best for your upcoming fight. We'll talk to you again very soon. And thank you once again for taking the time out to talk to us just a week before your fight. And all the very best.
No problem, man. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.